Live from New York. It's a show with a very special guest coming on in approximately 1 hour. It's First Things First. Today, not much of a cliffhanger. I'm just going to give it to you. Super Bowl champions and, yes, Kansas City Royals fan Patrick Mahomes joins the show 1 hour.
We're going to talk so much Bobby Witt Jr.
Too much
Oh,
Royals
my
talk.
goodness.
And we were the ones saying we wanted to do more baseball, me and Brou.
I haven't heard this much Royals talk since George Brou.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. You're not around in the back-to-back World Series, 14-15, beating the Mets.
Wasn't allowed to talk about that.
Mark Gubicza, get out of here.
Real talk.
Brett Saberhagen. Meanwhile, Aaron Rodgers has moved from lighting up podcasts to lighting up the practice field.
Good.
Is an MVP season on the horizon. Oh, he's got a medicine ball and everything.
He's jumping.
I didn't know if he could jump, and he
That
proved me
Achilles
wrong.
looks great.
And finally, the best segment in all of sports. It's NBA Tears alongside Chris Broussard. I'm Kevin Wildes. Nick, are there any surprises on this abridged tier? I think you should do, you know what? I still think you should tier all the teams.
Well, I'm going to tier all the teams, but we have a scheduling conflict. We're double booked. We have Patrick Mahomes during tiers, and we're not bumping tiers.
No, he can join for tiers.
He's going to join for tiers, and if we have
I
time
like
to
that.
ask him some
Get him
questions, we
involved.
will. Otherwise, he's playing the Greg Jennings role for tiers.
Okay, we start with a Celtics escape. A few costly turnovers by the Pacers gave the Celtics a chance, and Jaylen Brown capitalized from the corner, send the game into overtime via a double bang from Mike Green. I'm surprised he broke that out.
It was double, as Rob Perez said, double bang inflation. Too much lately.
Wow, okay.
Wow.
Too
Wow,
much.
political.
Mike, I got your back.
Celtics win by 5. Here's Jaylen Brown postgame.
The game is not over until the final whistle, the final buzzer sounds, and that was a good example of that. We was able to turn them over a little bit towards the end. One with Halliburton on the sideline, and I was able to get the deflection off of Siakam that just extended the game. And it's not over till it's over. And we found a way to win this game at the very end.
Brou, were you impressed with the Celtics?
Not at all.
Really?
I should be impressed.
Only one.
They were so lucky and fortunate. Now, they did keep trying, but they were fortunate to win this game. Look, first of all, they had 5 days rest. Indiana, coming off a wildly emotional game at Madison Square Garden, had 1 day rest, okay? And on top of that, everybody's been talking about how bad, I don't say bad you guys are at home, but how middling you are. 15-14 over the last 3 postseasons. Already lost a home game in each of the last 2 rounds.
Bad is okay.
Okay, so people have been talking about how bad you are at home. So you definitely want to get that, erase that. And here you are, you should have lost to a team that is so young they have no idea what it's like to be on this stage. And if it weren't for some major gaffes at the end of the game by the Pacers, they'd be down 0-1. Here's the first. Tyrese Halliburton is great. And he was great last night until the end. He just lost the ball.
that can't happen.
He just lost the ball. And there were other turnovers. Yes. There were other turnovers he made late. So he had 5 in the last 5.5 minutes, including overtime. Yep. And then I want to see after this the shot by Brown. Credit Brown, great shot. But the Pacers, why didn't they switch?
Oh, here's another Halliburton turnover.
There's another turnover. Yeah, okay. So they should have switched. We can really see it there. But at that point in the game, why aren't you just switching everything?
Yeah, and
look,
covered.
Could he have tried? Yeah, but if they had switched, T.J. McConnell could have denied Jaylen the ball in the corner. And maybe Jaylen just out of instinct cuts to the basket so you get a 2-point layup.
No way is he getting a 2-point.
No, I'm just saying, I think McConnell could have denied him. If they would have switched, he could have got in front of Jaylen so you couldn't have got that pass. That's a tough pass from the baseline.
And even if he does get the pass, if McConnell's there, I disagreed with the broadcast when the broadcast was saying, I know JJ and LeBron have been talking a lot about fouling up 3, and in general, I agree with that philosophy. But because Siakam was late, he didn't have an opportunity to foul. But if McConnell's there, you can foul on the catch.
Absolutely.
You can foul on the catch, and you're even allowed to run through the pass, foul him like that before he even has the ball. I understood why Siakam didn't foul because he was late. And
it's arguable. I get because Brown kind of, paused, so maybe you could have, but it's a risk.
It would have been
I have
risky.
no problem at that
point. But if they had
point,
switched, I agree with you. But it was, listen, I am not Mr. Big Market I'm from the Midwest. There's a lot of teams that I publicly root for that are not on the coasts. So this is not about Indiana's market size. But Pacers fans, this is why we can't take you seriously.
Wow.
This is why.
Sorry.
You disagree, Brou? This is
You just mean the fact that they collapsed?
Yes, I mean, games like this is why, even though none of us, I know some people think the Celtics are a great team. I don't think any of us on this table think they're as good as their metrics or their record suggests. And we did not spend a second contemplating the Pacers winning this series because this was a game that Boston was dying to give to you. That Boston would take a big lead and then stop playing. That they played into your hands defensively. Al Horford, God love him, oldest player in the playoffs, playing well. But if Al Horford's taking 12 threes, you're doing what the Pacers want you to do.
And that's what they did.
And Indiana, you had a 5-point lead with a minute and a half left. You had a 3-point lead with the ball with under 30 seconds left.
10
twice.
seconds. Right.
You had it twice. Once with 30, once with 10. And the turnovers were your all-NBA-ish guy dribbles the ball off his knee, and you can't get a ball inbounded.
Yep.
They were literally the type of turnovers that junior high
they had a
school teams
timeout
make.
left there, too. They could have called a timeout. And look, Rick Carlisle, I think we all understand he's a really good coach. But these plays, and he owned it. I'll give him credit. These are on him, though. Again, why aren't you switching on the last play by Jaylen Brown? And why don't you have them call the timeout right there so you don't have to, throw that turnover?
Do you want to give any credit to the Pacers? That we thought that they were going to cool down offensively because they were so hot. Pacers this postseason, offensive rating of 121, shooting 51% from the field, 38% from three, and everything. And maybe that hot shooting Knicks game kind of, cooked the books a little bit. But Josh said game one at the Celtics still shot 53.5% yesterday, 67% game 7. So do you expect this to continue?
I do give them credit. The Pacers have impressed me this postseason. I picked Boston in 6, but largely because I thought Boston might get lackadaisical and stuff. But Indiana plays well. They play hard. Their style of play is the same as Boston as far as the pace. They were number 1 and 2 in the league in pace.
Yeah, Pacers.
So but that plays, I think that's what Indiana wants. You're going to run with it. You're going to play fast with us. I think that favors the Pacers. And if I'm of each of these teams, if I was a player on either team, I would feel better if I'm a Pacer this morning. Now, I'm ticked off that we gave up the game. I understand that. But now, if there was any doubt, they're the young team. They haven't been this far. You're facing a team that's been in 6 conference finals in the last 8 years and is the best record in the league by a mile. Now they know. They went to bed last night man, we can not only play with them, we can beat them. So I think now Boston's going to have its hands full with the Pacers.
I totally disagree. I think that now, if you're the Pacers, you're like, all right, so we have to beat them 5 times in 7 games. We're not going to. They're going to lose game 2, and they're going to, at best case scenario, be down 3-1 when the next game's played in Boston. I think the series ended last night.
Okay.
I don't think the Pacers had more than a puncher's chance going into it, but last night was such a crushing loss because it'd be one thing if Boston made great plays down the stretch. Now, Jaylen made a very tough shot, and I will give him credit for that. But the Pacers made some mistakes, multiple mistakes in the final couple minutes that they didn't get punished for because Jason Tatum, who I know we're going to talk about, couldn't make a shot.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you rather be like, we gave them the game rather than they just beat us?
I think emotionally, I just think they're going to be down 0-2 in a couple days, and the series is over.
Okay. I kind of agree with both of you there, to be honest with you.
Well, there's
36 points and 12 rebounds.
Championship.
Wiles is done making predictions.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I thought you guys
There's no
both
way
made good
he's making
points.
any more predictions.
36 and 12 for Tatum in the win. So why did his game feel a little bit off? Well, here he is post-game.
I think just mentally understanding that, I've had spurts throughout big games where I didn't hit shots or shoot the ball well. But it's as simple as just, believing that the next one is going in. And I always feel like I'm one make away, from from being hot or being in a great rhythm.
Okay, here's how he got to 36. 2 for 7 in the fourth. He was 0 for 4 in the final 9:30 of the fourth. Also, just eye test wise, it's kind of like, here you go, Derek White.
Yeah.
Here you go, Jaylen Brown. Why don't you take care of it?
Late.
Yeah.
So do you feel better or worse about Tatum?
I mean, it's worse. I mean, you know what it reminded me of a bit? People kind of memory hold this game, but Game 6 last year, round 2 against Philly. Philly's up 3-2. It's after the 2 great Harden games, and Tatum started that game 1 for 14. And Philly couldn't take control, couldn't create separation despite that. And then the final 3 minutes, Tatum hit 4 threes, finished 5 for 21. Boston wins the game. And to me, it was similar to last night, which is Tatum was miserable in that fourth quarter and then wasn't good at the start of overtime. And then about halfway through overtime, all of a sudden, Wright got the and one, hit a 3, got a couple more free throws, and all of a sudden there's 8 quick points in overtime, and the Celtics win. And I don't think he's the hero, because Jaylen Brown is the hero, in my opinion, of the game. But he was the best guy in the overtime. But there are too many moments like this where it just feels like the Celtics don't have that guy. And this is something that Celtics fans kill our friend Colin Cowherd for, because he's been saying it all year. There is no shame in being the 7th or 8th best player in the sport. The problem is, all of NBA history tells us if you're the 7th or 8th best player in the sport, you're probably not going to win a title. Now, the Celtics are trying to overcome that, but that's the issue is once you get typically to this round, this year it's not the case for them, somebody that's in that 5 or 6 best players is on the other side of the court. And next round it will be. So no, I don't feel better about Jason Tatum's game.
Yeah, I think to your point, Nick, now, and I have not really questioned